Receive daily guidance and reassurance from their commander-in-chief. Questions remain regarding the future of the U.S. economy, jobs, and relationship with China. One America's Jenn Pellegrino has more with Trump campaign advisor Jessie Duff.
Well, Jessie Duff, you're a retired gunnery sergeant with the United States Marine Corps and the co-chair of Veterans for Trump. Thanks so much for taking time to join me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's exciting to be here.
Jessie, you were busy on the campaign trail up until coronavirus became a worldwide pandemic. The president has mentioned that he's about to make the toughest decision of his presidency in terms of reopening the economy, getting people back to work. What's your take on that?
Well, actually, I think the toughest decision of his presidency was to shut down the very economy that was the most successful in the history of the United States. That probably was the most painful and difficult for him, but he had to do it based upon the information that he had upon that time. I think opening it is going to be something that he's going to come out of the gates running. As we would say, the Trump train is getting ready to go down the tracks.
And speaking of businesses, Jessie, the Democrats are blocking additional funding for the Paycheck Protection Program. Really tough on small business owners right now. What's your take?
Are we surprised? We're not. We saw round one where they put in all their pet projects to the first stimulus. The opportunity for businesses to get money was derailed by Nancy Pelosi by how many days while they were funding their pet projects that had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the pandemic. And what they were doing was patting their own heels. Didn't they give themselves a pay raise in that? I am aghast at how they claim that they're about the American worker and talk about the Republicans as if they're the elite. I'm sorry, the tables have turned. They have become the elitists that only care about their power and their opportunity and keep their voters in line, while on the other hand, President Trump cares about the American people, and their attacks on the president are not about him. They are attacks upon all of us who need and want to get back to work.
An email recently went out to Trump campaign supporters asking for donations as we hold China accountable going forward. How do we hold China accountable for all this?
Well, let's be clear. The donations are from China. We're not asking the American people to cover this. We want China to pay reparations for what they have done to the world. Essentially, the United States has suffered immensely of the dishonesty of the communist China regime. We are now seeing that this virus just didn't come from the wet markets. We are now seeing evidence that Senator Tom Cotton, who is an Army veteran, by the way, has been pushing forward that looked like it came from a lab that was near Wuhan and essentially was being designed to overtake, show the competition between the United States. What their nefarious agenda is, I do not know. But the fact that China was dishonest, China did not help us, and we have become completely dependent upon China in our trade agreements. We must ensure that those products are brought back home. Our medication that they are producing is brought back home. We can never become so completely disabled. The president has to travel down this path very strategically. He has to ensure that the president of China and he have an understanding so that they don't cut off the further means in which we need their assistance right now with our medical and our other professional devices. But we have to wean ourselves off. We have to have a country that is independent of outside nefarious activity, as this has been clearly demonstrated by China.
We do. Jessie Duff, thank you so much for taking time to join us.
Thank you.